Last Wednesday, the 10th of September, right-wing political commentator, Christian, and father Charlie Kirk was assassinated on the Utah Valley University campus debating college students like he had done hundreds of times before. While I could give an in-depth eulogy and lamentation on the appalling tragedy like many on the internet have done so far, I wanted to take a short video to reframe the situation. There was a man that committed this heinous act. Who is he? How was he caught? What led him to commit such an atrocity? There has been so much speculation, misinformation, and emotional reactivity across the internet for the past week. The FBI itself arrested 2 individuals under false pretenses, labeling them prematurely as the shooter. So I wanted to give you a speedy summary on what we know about Tyler Robinson and the context surrounding his situation and the arrest. My name is Peter Wiggin. If you enjoyed this video, if you find this information compelling, subscribe. I make daily videos regarding political topics, cultural topics, and the other goings-on within the United States. So if you want a front row seat to breaking news, subscribe, and I will get that to you. After a 33-hour-long manhunt by the FBI, Tyler Robinson was found and arrested, not by the merit of the Federal Bureau of Investigation itself, but because of his father, Matt Robinson, who convinced Tyler to turn himself in. Tyler Robinson was born and raised in Washington, Utah, a town a few miles out of St. George. He graduated from Pine View High School in St. George with a 4.0 GPA, and after receiving a 34 on the ACT, he received a full ride scholarship to Utah State University. What Utah State University does, I applied to the same school and got the same scholarship. If you get a certain GPA and a certain ACT score and they match up along this matrix, you will get a full ride presidential scholarship, and that's what he got. So we know that he was an intelligent kid. We know that he got good grades in school, and so that begs the question, how was he led down this path of radicalization? What exactly happened? Tyler attended Utah State University for about 1 semester before dropping out, actually, and transferring to Dixie Tech to begin an electrician's apprentice program, in which he was in his 3rd year at the time of the shooting. His father worked on granite tabletops, and his mother was a social worker, and so it seemed like he was following his father down the path of the trades. At a press conference announcing Robinson's arrest Friday, Utah Governor Spencer Cox said a family member told investigators that Robinson had become more political in recent years, and he expressed dislike for Charlie Kirk, who Robinson said was full of hate and spreading hate. We'll get on more about that in a little bit towards the end of the video, but according to the BBC as well, Matt Robinson, the father of Tyler, saw the person of interest pictures released by the FBI. There were a few pictures of Tyler wearing jeans and a long-sleeve shirt with a hat and some sunglasses ascending some stairs. And he confronted his son on the matter, convincing Tyler to turn himself in. Whatever the case may be, because some people were saying that Matt recognized the pictures and told his bishop what was going on, and the bishop called the U.S. Marshals. Whatever the case may be, Matt contacted the FBI, and his son was shortly after arrested. So what else do we know? An affidavit from the state of Utah confirms that Robinson was arrested on suspicion of the crimes of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. So those are the little legal tags that they're putting on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He's being held without bail in Utah County Jail right now. And people are saying, there's speculation saying that he will make his first court appearance tomorrow, actually on Tuesday. So we'll get to see what happens with that. So just like most Gen Z gamers probably are, Tyler was on active Discord groups, which have been key in the FBI investigation. We don't know exactly how they have been key. I'll talk about later. There was a small confession given by him. But other than that, we still don't have any information regarding any co-conspirators, any other individuals involved in planning or executing of the shooting. We don't know anybody that's tangentially related to the situation. His final message to his Discord friends before turning himself in, this was Thursday night, about 31 hours after the shooting. He said, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." And so there we have a confession directly on Discord to his whatever friends he had made playing his games. So that's the basic situation. I laid it out all right there. Now, there have been a lot of rumors floating around the past couple days over the course of the past 96 hours since the shooting. And the biggest one, the one that has gained the most traction over the mainstream media was Robinson a right-wing radical or a groyper? It seemed like right when the shooting happened, a bunch of people on the right came out and said, hey, he's probably somebody violent on the left. He's probably a transgender. We just had that transgender individual shoot up and shoot 19 individuals in the Minneapolis Catholic school, leading to the deaths of 2. So that sentiment has still been in the air. You still have a taste of that trans violence that a lot of people on the right are pointing to as a big issue in the country. And as more information began to come out regarding Tyler Robinson and his involvement as the shooter, people found his address. They looked at state records regarding his political affiliation and his parents' political affiliation. And people uncovered the fact that his parents were indeed registered Republicans. However, he was a registered independent. Despite all of this information and despite the ambiguity, mainstream media outlets have came out overtly stating that Tyler Robinson was a far-right radical. He was a Groyper. For those who don't know, Groypers are followers of Nick Fuentes. They're followers of the America First movement. And that's a surface level explanation, but the point is the mainstream media was touting him as a far-right radical to try to smear the right as a violent, kooky group. However, bullet inscriptions were found, and these were read aloud by Governor Cox himself, and they said, "Hey, fascist, catch." And Bella Ciao, and notice his bulge, "Oh, what's this?" And if you are reading this, you are gay. I can tell you for a fact that no right-wing radical is writing "Hey, fascist, catch" on a shell. And he was also living with a transgender roommate and an alleged partner at the time, and his name was Lance Twiggs. As alongside all of this, he has recently expressed anger towards Charlie Kirk, like we were saying earlier, saying that he was sick of him spreading hate. His family also said that he had been getting more political as of recent. And so we don't know exactly the intricacies of his political affiliations or what caused his radicalization, but what we can say for sure is he was probably not a right-wing radical. And the rest, we can just wait for more information to distill upon the news cycle. The second conspiracy that has been going around for the past week since the shooting of Charlie Kirk was this dude MK Ultra'd into doing this? Was he brainwashed? Was he an asset for a third party, for example, Israel? And now I'm Peter Wiggin. If you don't know me at all, I'm going to be one of the first people to jump on one of these conspiratorial bandwagons. And so this is me saying that really we don't know. There have been many shootings in the past in which I would have been the first person to come out and say, yes, this dude was probably involved with some third party. This is too sketchy. There are too many loose ends that haven't been tied up, too many inconsistencies. But in terms of the shooting of Tyler Robinson, the shooting of Charlie Kirk by Tyler Robinson, we have to appeal to Occam's razor, and Occam's razor suggests that the conclusion with the least number of logical jumps is probably correct. Whatever requires the least amount of logical assumptions is the idea that Robinson was chronically online as a teenager. He was radicalized online over the course of a decade, probably around the age of 14. He was groomed into strange ideology by people online, simmering in his hate and delusions for hours and hours and hours until eventually he took out his rage on Charlie Kirk. From all the information that we have so far, that seems to be the conclusion that we can make. However, that isn't to say that there aren't strange inconsistencies. There are. There are many, actually. For example, George Zinn, he was the first person to be arrested after the shooting, one of the 2 people that the FBI falsely labeled as the shooter. And George Zinn seemed to be at the exact right place at the exact right time to distract all of the law enforcement in the area away from Tyler Robinson so he could escape. There are videos of George Zinn out there. He's an old man, yelling, "Shoot me now, shoot me now." Why would he be saying that? Why would he be trying to distract law enforcement? Unless there was some tie or some coordination in this attack. Not to say that this attack, that George Zinn and Tyler Robinson both were recruited by a third party. They could have, for example, been on Discord together and coordinated as 2 individuals, but nevertheless, there are inconsistencies. That's all I'm trying to say with that. All we know is Charlie Kirk, a father, a Christian, a pillar in the conservative community, was shot. He was silenced. And Tyler Robinson was the shooter that we know of. And so if you know any more about what was going on that I missed, leave it in the comments. If any more information about Tyler Robinson drops after his court hearings, let's say, or after the FBI investigation continues and they begin to scrape through his Discord messages and groups, I will let you know firsthand. I will be first out there with a video talking on the subject. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a like, comment your thoughts put your thoughts in the comment section, and share this with a friend that doesn't understand the situation going on. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.